For most of web development history, writing software was a slow, manual grind. Building an application took months of labor, while launching took mere hours. This chart shows that historical ratio. When the build phase is measured in months, a 3-hour deployment is just a rounding error. Because deployment represented only about 1% of the total timeline, it was ignored. You wrestled the pipeline once and moved on. But AI coding assistants have now compressed that months-long build process into minutes. The math of software creation has flipped. That same deployment is now the largest line item in your timeline. Shipping the code is now slower than writing it. The bottleneck moved. It shifted from the keyboard to the toolchain, creating a vacuum for any company capable of collapsing that final gap. In June 2026, Cloudflare moved to occupy that space. They didn't just launch a new feature. They acquired VoidZero to unify the JavaScript toolchain. VoidZero owns Vite, a build tool with 129 million weekly downloads, acting as the foundation for frameworks like Vue, SvelteKit, and Astro. Integrating Vite builds a one-click path from a local laptop straight to Cloudflare's global network. This removes the seams between the bundler, the edge configuration, and the deploy target, steps that usually require manual wiring. Fusing the build step to the network means Cloudflare isn't just a destination for code, they are the environment where the code is prepared. This vertical integration puts Vercel, the current leader in front-end deployment, in a difficult competitive position. Vercel depends heavily on the Vite ecosystem. A significant share of their deployments is built on tooling governed by a direct rival. Furthermore, Vercel rents its underlying hardware from Amazon Web Services. Every function carries the cost of AWS infrastructure, plus Vercel's margin. Cloudflare, however, owns its hardware end-to-end, allowing them to run compute on their own silicon at a fraction of the price. Vercel is competing on an abstraction layer they rent, while Cloudflare is building a stack that owns the tools above and the metal below. Cloudflare has committed $1 million to an independent Vite fund to ensure the tools remain open source and vendor agnostic for the human developer community. But the long-term logic of this deal isn't just about human coders. It is about providing the substrate for autonomous AI agents. If an AI agent is going to write and ship an application independently, it cannot be stalled by manual configuration or complex toolchain wiring. A zero-friction build pipeline is the prerequisite for an agent to move from idea to a live functioning service without human intervention. Owning the build toolchain allows Cloudflare to automate the entire path, making their network the natural destination for software that builds itself. This strategy positions Cloudflare to outflank hyperscalers like AWS by capturing developers at the moment of creation rather than the moment of procurement. This stack shows Cloudflare's current progress. They have hardware, compute, and build tools, but lack a reactive data layer keeping backends and clients in sync. Acquiring a company like Convex completes the integrated pipeline. By controlling the path from the local build to the global edge, Cloudflare is attempting to set the standard for how software is deployed, in an era where speed is no longer limited by the human typist.